BFM 89.9. Good morning, I'm Melisa Idris. It is Wednesday, the 8th of January. Welcome to the BFM Morning Headlines. I'm sitting in for Sharad Kutan this morning and taking a look at the headlines today. Less than a week after the Jais raid last Thursday, the papers have all moved on to other cover stories, but we give exception to Utusan, which carries a story on Father Lawrence Andrew. Andrew tidak berganja, talking about how Father Lawrence Andrew is sticking by his statement on the use of the word Allah in Bahasa Malaysia services in churches in Selangor. So Utusan clearly not happy about that. Sinar also not very happy with Father Andrew, asking him to patuhi arahan Sultan. There were a couple of other stories as well in the papers, but they didn't make it to the front pages. They kept within the first few pages. I still think it's relevant to talk about it in the front pages still. Not a lot of papers covered it though. Let's give props to Malay Mail and the other stories that they covered. You know, guys, we really have to keep talking about it. We can't let it fade to the background. So a couple of other interesting stories that didn't make it to the front pages. Jais raid was not wrong. Talking about how the Selangor Exco says that Jais followed SOP. They followed procedure in the raid. Other stories talked about how lawyers can't agree whether the enactment is contradictory to the Constitution or whether it stands alone as a state law. So that's something that the lawyers will be talking about today. Moving on, we have The Star, who chose not to do the Bible story on the front cover, but went with this equally horrifying story of two little girls who've been abused. One of them had burn marks all over her body and was tied to a chair by her stepmother, who then proceeded to rub chili over her mouth and her genitals. And the other story, which is even worse, was a 12-year-old girl who was kicked in her back and her abdomen and was thrown on the floor. That little girl died. Her father has since been sentenced to death. Fitting, I think. Other stories in the papers talked a lot about government policies and initiatives to tackle the rising cost of living and the current problems that we're facing today. Malay Mail has a cover on only locals in fast food outlets. That means they're limiting the number of foreign workforce that can be in the service industry. They say it's to provide jobs for young Malaysians. My question is, how many young Malaysians want to work in the fast food industry and see it as a long-term career? It's an honest day's work, but I'm wondering about the impact of this policy. I think one of the reasons why industries hire foreign workers is because local workers shy away from these jobs. I mean, it's long hours, it's a lot of hard work, and it's very low pay. So maybe the government should be looking at the impact of this policy. And furthermore, apparently, the Employers Federation says it wasn't consulted. We talk about more dialogue, but when we implement policies without talking to the industry, I think that goes against all the things that we say we want to do. Moving on, we have NST as well, talking about another government initiative about the rising cost of living. Two initiatives were announced. The first was by FAMA, which is the Federal Agricultural Marketing Authority. We all know it with the Pasar Tanis. They're committing to reduce the price of 21 perishable items by up to 20%. This is, of course, to help the urban poor so you can get cheaper goods at Pasar Tanis. And the Domestic Trade and Cooperatives and Consumerism Ministry is saying that they're going to draw up some enforcement measures to tackle profiteering. Now, personally, I think my solution to tackling the rising cost of living would be to get a second job. And I'm seeing opportunities in the fast food industry, so you might see me asking you whether you'd like to supersize that. Another note on this fast food industry story, which I find quite interesting, is in Malaysia, fast food isn't just your McDonald's and your Burger Kings and your KFCs. I'm wondering, does that cover the kopitiams and the mamas? Because I'm seriously concerned about the impact of this policy on my favorite mama shop. But just to clarify, NST has a good definition of what a fast food outlet is in Malaysia. Apparently, it is a business facility preparing fast food services such as McDonald's, KFC and Burger King. It does not include food and beverage outlets that hire waitresses such as kopitiams and Starbucks. So our favourite kopitiams are safe. Also, photo of the day would have to be this mega jam, our perennial problem of traffic jams combined with natural disasters of landslides. Not sure how natural this is given that it is a construction site. I don't know about you, but after 13 hours in the office, I went home and got stuck 2 hours of traffic. So there you go. To all of you, I feel your pain, whoever was stuck in traffic yesterday. But you made it to the front pages. Perhaps that's even your car stuck there. I'm going to end today's morning headlines with this killer headline from Harian Metro. It's about the perils of porn. Let me repeat that again. The perils of porn. To all of you out there. Bahana film biru. When was the last time you saw the words porn being referred to as film biru? Or in my day, it was called blue film. That's F-L-E-M, blue film. That's the word of the day. Hope you had a good time with us today. I'll be back tomorrow with more headlines on our Morning Headlines show. I'm Melisa Idris for BFM 89.9.